good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Can you actually see and hear me? Uh, I'm hoping that you can. I'm going to see if there's anything coming up on there. Hopefully, you can see and hear me. So, majorly, we have our Constitutional Convention weekend coming up, June the 5th, 6th, and 7th. It is in Mablethorpe in Lincoln, not that far from Lincoln Cathedral, if anyone wanted to pop along and have a look at the Magna Carta, the original. But everyone needs to understand we've got two separate days. So what I'm going to do is basically show you this on the screen. This is the English Constitution Party's membership card. You can see autonomy, liberty, sovereignty, freedom, constitutional, protected, self-determination, common law, various elements of that. The Magna Carta of 1215, the Statute of Westminster, the first Statute of Westminster, 1275, the Magna Carta of 1297, observance of due process of law, 1368, the Petition of Right, 1627, Habeas Corpus Act of 1679, the Declaration of Right, 1688, the Bill of Rights, 1688, the Coronation Oath Act of 1688, the Crown and Parliament Recognition Act of 1689, and the Act of Settlement of 1701. And that is just a handful of constitutional statutes. We have got the common law to back that up as well. So, the English Constitution Party will be on the Saturday, the 6th of June, 2026. Please make your way to the main bar where seaside benches are, where the seaside benches are. So when you see the main bar, you'll see all the benches outside. That is the main bar. This is quite a lovely complex. So the more people go there, you'll enjoy it. I loved it when I was there. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. a talk about the party and manifesto. So again, it is educational. If you're not a member, come along to it because you'll understand that our manifesto is the English Constitution. And that's what I'm going to be talking through. And we're also going to do some votes for members. And you can join if you want to join the party. There is a particular reason why we are important. From 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. there's a singer, and then from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. because we're breaking this up, we've got a questions and answers session. This is going to be mainly about politics, any questions, and there's going to be hopefully people from the English Constitution Party, not just me there, that I can answer questions for you as well. At 6 p.m. onwards is a singer and disco. I ain't heard that for a long time. A disco. So if you want to see a bit of twisting and ducking and diving on the dance floor, you possibly can. It's just a chill out, right? Everyone gets to know each other. All the online people come together, and we're just going to be having a nice time, right? That's the main purpose of it. The Sunday, English Constitution Society. What are the aims of the society? What we will be doing. So Sunday the 7th of June 2026, please make your way to the main bar where seaside benches are. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Seminar focusing on who ended slavery, questions and answers. And I'll be talking about that because it's really important that people understand that the working class of today, if you was paying taxes up until 2015, you were the people that paid off the slavers' debts, the working class did. And the people that own the slaves, in effect, were not the working class. So why are we being attacked, and especially the English working class? Most of the taxes are raised in England. And again, from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m, you've got Ska Band. These bands are all good, locally known. There's going to be a lot of locals there as well. And then 4 p.m. onwards, chit chat and mingle. So Again, it's a social thing. And if you don't like politics, but you really are interested in the by trial, whatever way you want to put it, partisan, in other words, not non-partisan constitutional elements to this, and the fact that the English Constitution does not mention race anywhere. It does mention religion, and religion is important because you get the fanatical elements of religion that can take control, and it's the Bill of Rights that stops that. People don't know that, and they don't know because they've never been told. That's what I'm going to say. So everybody out there, we need to get this out there. We need the people to come along to this, and it should be a fantastic event. Not should be, it will be. Now I'm going to do something strange. Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Yes, it's me, Daddy Dragon, otherwise known as Graham Moore, otherwise known as that really annoying person who is an activist for the English Constitution, an activist for the English people. Someone it appears that all of these people never want to talk about. They just want to suppress and oppress us. It sort of made me giggle. And it did make me giggle, that there's been some sort of complaints by Restore about how the media is suppressing them and the media won't talk about them and the media's not doing this and the media's not doing that and how dishonest the media is. Really? It did make me giggle. I was like, really? And there are elements I want to quickly go into before I do anything else. And that is, I want everyone to understand the difference between unionism. You cannot call yourself a nationalist if you're a unionist, right? The two things are opposite. They mean the opposite thing, right? And this is what I say about a mind virus, psychological reframing, indoctrination, whatever way you want to describe it, right? So the very people that wanted to remain in the European Union, yeah, the British Unionists are using the same arguments. They've got the same aggressive nature about them, right? And I sit there literally giggling. I think, how is it that these people do not understand the difference between a union, a political union, and a nation, and a nationalist, right? So English constitutionalism also incorporates English nationalism. But because it's the English Constitution and it's governed by the common law and constitutional statutes, it forbids fascism and it forbids communism. It is in effect a free market economy, right? What we've allowed is Roman law to enter into Parliament, and that is the cancer that's causing all these problems. I was thinking as I was driving on my way back from Exeter today, and I'm going to mention a couple other quick things, but I was driving back from Exeter and someone had spoken to me about AI. And I said, AI, in effect, perfectly suits, and they are equally suited to each other, Roman law. And the reason why Roman law and AI go together is because Roman law lists out what you are allowed to do, and unless it's on that list, it's illegal, it's unlawful, right? So it is suited to AI. That's the bit that people don't get. The common law could still use AI, but it would be a distributed AI system, right? And what do I mean by that? It means that Devon Council could use AI with its local rules, governed by the English Constitution. It would be framed perfectly so it could never make a decision or allow councillors or anyone to make a decision outside of its remit. But that's distributed AI, which can assist human beings, but it couldn't control. Whereas Roman law and AI would completely control human beings with its own set of very strict rules about what is illegal, and anything that is not written, right? Which is why there's, if you go to the European Union, there's a book that thick, literally that thick, telling you what a cucumber is and describing a cucumber. Because if the cucumber doesn't exactly fit that description, then it's not a cucumber. Even if it looks like a cucumber, tastes like a cucumber, and shreds like a cucumber, it's not a cucumber, because that Roman law says it isn't. Because if there's one single thing that's not in that book, and that cucumber displays that one single thing, it is not a cucumber, right? You can't add to it. Does everyone sort of get that? AI is only as fast as big database. AI, there's an old saying in system engineering and computer programming, GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, right? And most of the AI is being. I see Andrew Brisson done a fantastic tweet today, and it showed AI talking to a human. And the human was, I'm just going to describe this. The human was asking AI, is this mushroom safe to eat? And AI said, yes, it is. Human ate the mushroom. Then there's the next image. And there was a headstone. It said, rest in peace. And the human had died. And AI said, oh, sorry, I appear to have got that wrong. I was like, that is AI, right? It makes, oh, sorry, human, I got that wrong. And the reliance on people that now, and I'm seeing it a lot. People are just not understanding it. It is madness, right? So this morning, I did an interview for about an hour and 15 minutes, maybe an hour and 20 minutes, with someone called Darren of Plymouth. Does anyone know that term? He is a superb interviewer. I really like him. He took a bit of time out and disengaged from everything that's going on. He is a highly intelligent person, and I get that. I get that he needed to disengage because, in effect, it takes a toll on you. If you ask anyone who knows me, I never stop. Never stop. I'm like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even at the weekends when I have a break, I'm like, how can I communicate this problem and give the solution, right? It is actually quite funny sometimes, but it does get you sometimes, and sometimes you can go into all sorts of stuff. Does anyone know Darren of Plymouth? He's got quite a large following on Twitter. He's a really nice fella, and he doesn't live a million miles away from me, right? So we had a really good conversation. We spoke about Devon, we spoke about Cornwall, we spoke about the local area, spoke about Plymouth and a few other places. So it should be quite interesting. But we had an in-depth conversation about Restore Britain. He was highly concerned about them, and what I did was I went through a list of things, and I said, "Listen, you've got to vote." Right. If you don't vote, you're complicit, and you're allowing them to get away with this stuff. Right. And the only way you're going to solve this, if I firmly believe that Rebecca in Wakefield, Rebecca Shepherd, otherwise known as Becky, not only is a good candidate, but she's a normal person, and that's exactly what you want. You want normal, everyday people in there. And we need to reground that parliament. And the Commons is for commoners. It is not for people in professions, right? Otherwise, you make it something that it was never supposed to be. Let me have a quick look. But one of the things that we had a conversation about today And I'm hoping I can refer to. I'm trying to say something to you, and it'll be an interesting thing. So Darren, for example, was a chemistry teacher, right? He understood what I was saying with reference to, for example, Oxford University. This mind virus has come from that university, and the only way really you can deal with this and stop these wars and stop the type of things and the manipulation of our children's minds is to pull the ticket of anyone. Shut down Oxford University. And the other one obviously is the London School of Economics, and the other one is Cambridge, right? And whilst I understand how some people will turn around and say, isn't that collective punishment? It is, but no one's getting killed. What we're doing is we're literally saying, because of what you've taught, because of the problems you've caused, and don't forget Clinton went to Oxford University, I can name many others. We need a way of pulling their ticket. We need to force all of the people that went to Oxford University, just to show, because it will send out a message. It's called cutting the head off the snake, right? And that is the snake. That is the centerpiece of the mind virus, Oxford University. So one of the conversations that we was having today was about the fact that they don't teach children or anyone about the Constitution anymore. And because Darren was a chemistry teacher, I basically said, imagine this. You're a chemistry teacher and you're in university, and the people writing the curriculum for the university tell you, as a chemistry teacher, someone who understands chemistry, and the building blocks of life on Earth, known as synops, I believe it is, CHNOPS. So carbon, hydrogen, and I said to him, I used to be good when I was at school. I was good at chemistry. I enjoyed it, and I was also good at physics. So carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. Right, they're the building blocks. Now, let's say that the people presenting the curriculum to you and say you must teach children this about chemistry, remove carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, and they tell you these are the principles of life: oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. You know that is an incorrect table of the elements, right? You know that that's wrong, and you're arguing your point to them, and they're not accepting it. You're going to get sacked if you carry on, right? You're not allowed to teach your struck out if you tell people what it is. Now, I want you to understand what I'm saying to you. Without carbon, many of the fuels that we've got to keep warm, etc., are not there. Without hydrogen, you wouldn't be developing currently, for example, hydrogen engines. Without nitrogen, sounds funny, but you wouldn't have, or nitrogen and nitrates, you wouldn't have Guinness, or nitrogen in particular. And if I can show you my little device here, it says on the side. What's the major point of what I'm trying to say? Well, they did the same with law schools. They did the same in our curriculum for comprehensive schools. They did the same when they removed key functions of our constitution from the bar exams and solicitors exams. But it's a bit like what they've done, or what they're trying to attempt to do now, by removing juries, removing grand juries, which they've already been successful with. And all of it can be put back. It's not gone away. It's a bit like the periodic table. It's still there. People just didn't know it was there, and then you tell them it's there. There it is. And all of a sudden things start to make sense again. Do you understand what I'm trying to say to you? So currently, I know there must be some people out there that realise there are key elements of our constitution that they have not been taught about. And that is what we do as the English Constitution Party and the English Constitution Society, is go around the country teaching people you do have a constitution. You have key elements of that constitution that no one can take away. It's as natural as carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, and sulfur. And if you interfere with any of them elements, you may be able to con people that are not there, but sooner or later they're going to understand that you've lied to them. But if you think about all of those people that have been lied to in the university, if they've told people that three of them elements don't exist, then most of their knowledge is not there. So what value does that degree have in chemistry or in law? If it misses the fundamentals, you've got a serious problem. That those people are not really qualified. They are certainly not learned, and that is the issue. And the only way that you can correct that, and bearing in mind the periodic table hasn't finished. There are things that we don't know exist yet that will come about, and we will learn that they do exist. A bit like how we discovered ivermectin in the 1970s, how it became a molecule, how it was developed, and it was discovered to be a molecule, and one of the safest remedies to a lot of diseases, certainly killing parasites, certainly assisting with inflammation in the body, etc. Well, they didn't know about that until 1975. And just to make sure everyone's aware of this, if you think about a particular problem that we had in the 1500s, 1600s, 1700s, what was that problem that we had? People used to get scurvy. It was like cancer. It was lethal. What was the cure? What was the key thing that the body was missing? Vitamin C, a basic element of life that the human body needed. And without it, people were dying. But without it, their limbs was falling off and going black. Their teeth was falling out. They was dying horrible deaths. It was just like cancer. And then someone said, you need to take vitamin C. And again, they tried to scrub that from history for a little while, and people started getting scurvy again. But they knew someone knew, we've already solved this problem. What was it? And that's what we've got to do with the Constitution. And that's why it's so absolutely important that we get this message across to restore Britain, and why it's so crucial that people understand the difference between unionism and nationalism, right? A nation is the antithesis to globalism, and unionism is a stepping stone to globalism. The fact that they've brought in Roman law jurisdiction into an English common law parliament is a major issue for England, and we need to resolve that. Does everyone understand what I just said, by the way? Alice, gorgeous, sodium acetate. I'm getting all sorts of people coming out with different chemicals things. We got any chemical genius out there? Did everyone just understand? Although that was a slightly technical way of describing it, but do you understand that if I was to present you, or if Darren was to present you with a periodic table and it had core, can you see and hear me again? It's because there's too much open on my laptop, I believe. Is this going out on YouTube, and is this going out on Rumble? Is this going out on everything and anything? Just give us a shout as you block screen, no sound. Yeah, your camera is gone, Graham. Yeah, no, it just went. As long as I've come back again, I've sort of got used to why it does it. It's a laptop, remember, and there's too much going through it. How I can solve that, I don't know. to be honest with you. But I do, again, want to just show you a couple of brief things, just so you know, and there's lots of information I could show you on this. Let's see if I'll put that to one side. I'll look at my paper in a couple of minutes. But I need to show you something else from this book, right? So I'm going to show you this book, and then so you understand what it is and what it is that we're talking about, all right? So again, I'm going to hopefully put this straight on, and you'll see it. The Law and the Constitution, right? This book is, I think, 1937, but I'm not sure. I'll have to have a check and see which one it was. It was actually 8 shillings. It's an old book, and it's very, it's struggling. This one, I take it, this is the third revised and enlarged edition, 1943, and it was last reprinted in 1947. So I don't know. It must be 1947 onwards. But there is a thing that I need to show you, which is on page 157, the Law and the Constitution. And there's a little message on there. I'm not sure if anyone can see that. God bless Daddy, Sue and Clive, Bristol, St George. Right. These are the people that send me stuff and help me out and give me these books. They find these books in various places, and they send them to me, and they say, have a look at this one. This one's all about the Constitution. So you're actually, it's fantastic when people are doing that. So what I'm going to do is just show you this. And I'm going to start from about there, right? Pass any legislation which result in a breach of international, consequently, international law limits the power of Parliament through the operation of constitutional convention, right? Let me just make sure I put this down, right? The mandate, there is a convention which limits the power of Parliament in respect of internal matters. Apart from altogether from political expediency, it is now recognised that fundamental changes of policy must not be effected unless they have been in issue at the general election. This appears as a limitation upon the government, but since the government, as I shall explain presently, controls Parliament, it is a limitation upon Parliament itself, right? And again, it tells you, it goes into more detail on the next page. But that's not there's a lot of information in there about the law and the Constitution. But a bit I wanted to reference to you briefly was the tariffs. So at page 159 of this book, party again announced that, so what I'm going to do, the government in 1931, however, the Conservative Party again announced that tariffs were the only remedy available for restoring prosperity. Who's putting tariffs on who at the moment in the US? True fiscal conservatism, right, are tariffs. The reverse of that are open borders, right, with no tariffs. The other members of Cabinet agreed to consider any remedy that might appear desirable for restoring the balance of trade. The Conservatives at the election of 1931 made perfectly plain that their remedy was tariffs. Accordingly, when the government secured an enormous majority made up of largely Conservative members, the Cabinet considered the available measures and proposed a policy of tariffs through giving the Liberal Cabinet members liberty to differ and to vote against the proposals in the House of Commons. The government had secured its mandate and so was able to reverse the policy of the country, right? So just to make sure, if you think in any way, now I'm telling you now that Rupert Lowe is a businessman, there's other businessmen and businesswomen that want to take, that's how our Parliament used to operate, right? That's how our Cabinet used to operate as well, right? But now I'm going to take you to the back page of this. There's loads of cases in this as well. This is one of the reasons why I like the old books, because you won't find these on the internet anywhere. No one, It's about studying and reading through certain sections, and when we had problems, how we dealt with them, right? But what I want to do is start you off here with the fundamental difference between a democracy and a dictatorship rests in this, that the people in the democracy are free to learn what facts they please about their own system of government and to change it if they can think of a better, while in a dictatorship there is suppression of information, suppression of freedom of thought, and therefore the absence not merely of establishing a different system, but of learning whether there are any arguments in favour of another. Right? Just think about what I've just shown you in this book. Right? Can you all see where it says that? Look on the screen. The fundamental difference between a democracy and a dictatorship rests in this, that the people in the democracy are free to learn what facts they please about their own system of government and to change it if they can think of a better. While in a dictatorship, there is suppression of information, suppression of freedom of thought, and therefore the absence not merely of establishing a different system, but of learning whether there are any arguments in favour of another. Now, do you remember what I said to you previously? And again, I'm just going to put that on there and talk to you while I'll have that on the screen. Do you remember what I said to you previously? Literally, that if you look at the Constitution and if you look at Ashby versus White, 1703, and you look at the words of Chief Justice John Holt at the time in 1703, 1704, and don't forget he's one of the framers of the English Bill of Rights and the Declaration of Rights, and one of the chief negotiators with the Prince of Orange. He says quite clearly, one, that it's your right to vote. Two, that it is a right of, just like a property right. No one can take that off you. If it's your property, it's your property, and the law will back you up if someone has tried to stop you from voting. Right. So to give up your property for no apparent reason, you just abstain, is completely illogical, and it's the type of thing that the left have promoted, as well as Jehovah's Witnesses and people who have created the mind virus in the background, particularly Common Purpose, that are persuading these people to come out with this nonsense online about not voting. Now, the constitutional position is you can't write none of the above because they won't put it on a ballot. Tony Blair was the one who stopped that. But what you can do is write on that ballot, if you believe there is no candidate that represents you, Ashby versus White 1703, but you are using your ballot, you are using your vote, right? It is counted in the, and again you must register the vote to do that. It is counted in the turnout, right? So if that turnout is quite massive, I don't know, let's say 70%, 80%, 90%, 95%, and 40% of the people are saying I do not consent, then no one has a right to govern you. They can't tax you. That's what Chief Justice Holt said, and they can't make laws because you've said I'm not going to consent to them laws because I'm not part of this system because of who and what you are. Now, there is a separate way of doing that, is when someone stands up that is one of you, right? If they are, so I'm talking about, and I'm not talking about the people counselling Rupert Lowe. I'm not talking about the people in the inner circle. I'm talking about the candidate that Restore Britain have put up in Makerfield, right? Rebecca Shepherd, otherwise known as Becky. She is one of you. She's got up off her arse. She's created a business. She's formed this non-profit business. She is doing things in her community, assisting her community, assisting people with special needs, etc. She is genuinely a nice person. When people stand up and put themselves on public offer in the way that she is doing, that you should respond in kind, in my opinion. And again, it's not my area, but in my opinion, you should respond by voting for her. She has never stood in politics before. I am not a politician, right? And I'm not a diplomat. I swear a lot. I have a beer. I do all sorts of things that people go, "Oh, don't like that," right? Um, and again, you're talking about normal everyday people. My honest opinion is Restore are not doing enough, especially at the major level with Rupert Lowe. So everyone, when I say we, I mean the public can get bodies and boots on the ground, and everyone is seeing that this is the real people's army, and it's being led by a leader. That's the other thing I wanted to say to you, and it's really important that people understand this as well. Sometimes in business, well, not sometimes, all the time in business, you have phases. And if you're creating a new business and it's a large push out for a business, you'll have the people that come in to help build the business. We had this in telecommunications, right? So you'll have the initial engineers, the initial people, and they think differently to everyone else. They're the builders, they're the people who get on and do it, they're the grafters. It's like having a building site. And you bring in the bricklayers, the plumbers, the tilers, the roofers, everything in there to build out. And then you bring in the roads, you bring in the drains, you bring in all the system and all the trades to build that housing estate. Let's say that housing estate is a social housing project. Once them builders have left, the build phase is over. Once them people have left the site, it goes into an operation phase, and the operation phase is you bring people in for customer service, you bring people in that issue tenancies, you could bring people in that are housing officers, and then you bring in a team of people that collect the rents, and then you bring another group of people in that are not builders but are maintenance specialists, right? So I understand the building game, but they're maintenance rather than getting on and actually building the place. Do you understand that? It's another phase. It's an operational phase rather than a build phase or the build out phase. I see it to a large extent what Nigel Farage was doing, even though I believe he was controlled opposition. And the only reason he come into this was to eventually get us out of the EU, so the Uni Party could take us back in without the protections of Margaret Thatcher that were built in to the British Union, and they couldn't impose certain things on us, including monetary union, including military union, and including the regions which now they've renamed to a devolution. All of that we was protected from to some extent, right? Most of it, in fact. Monetary union would be a death knell to this country completely. In fact, we should go on the complete opposite of that, and that includes every single county and shire in England and Wales. I include Wales and Northern Ireland. I include them in this as well. If and I'm not talking about Scotland. Scotland is a separate jurisdiction. Scotland is a Roman law jurisdiction. Let them get on with it. They're nothing to do with us. We shouldn't be interfering with Scotland at all, right? They will learn, as a very great man once said, Enoch Powell. They'll learn. I want you to all understand: if each shire and each county had its own bank, it was distributed banking system that each shire and every county, we go back to the way we used to do it. You've got your own minor tax system, you've got a management system in place, you've got an operational system in place, that none of this money is being taken to a central system, either for government finances or for the debt financing of the British Union. You would solve most of our problems overnight, and it's all there. So, hopefully, people understand what I've just said, but really importantly, people need to understand this. Who's out there at the moment? Anyone out there? I wish I could do my call-ins again. I'd have to try and get another table, and I might start looking at setting up the other one, and it's going to take me a bit of time to sort it out though. Anyway, let me go back to my original camera. Hopefully, people will see me again. Boo! Made you jump, didn't I? You loved that, didn't you? One day in my life, I intend to get some teeth back in my head. I'm not that bothered about teeth, like, what do you think of me barnet? Like, I had my hair cut again today. Let's have a quick look. Future governments. But getting back, because I went slightly off subject then, getting back to this whole situation of what Lord Chief Justice Holt said, and what I was referring to from this book. If you're not being told the truth by the mainstream media, everyone keeps talking about direct democracy. You can't have that. Even though the common law allows for it, and it does allow for it, and it was in that judgment, we have got the technology to do direct democracy. But if you're being lied to and manipulated on social media by psychologists with psychological reframing, in other words, a mind virus, which is what they've imposed upon our children and adults, I've got to tell you, adults are just responsible for what's going on, then you cannot have direct democracy unless you've got freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, meaning online, to have these conversations. If you haven't got any of them things, right, then you cannot have direct democracy, because all they're doing is pushing you in a direction, and that's why it would never work. We, the English, are truly free under the English Constitution and common law jurisdiction. No, we are entirely. People don't realise the only true social justice system is common law, and that is why they hate the English, and they need to remove that. And England is the beating heart of the United States of America. They've got far more freedoms because they've protected them. Blair plucked out of Starmer's Harris. Fear is building. Someone said to me today, and I'm not sure if I see it, tell me if I'm wrong here. Someone said to me that Blair has actually come out and stated that zero, that net zero is completely wrong, and it needs to be immediately stopped. Did I hear that right? He's basically saying, almost saying anyway, that Miliband is a lunatic. Did I hear that right? Cat Rachel, Archie Schooner, yep, he was on Times New podcast. All right, so he did say that. Did he say that? Do you mean decimalisation? Are there conversations going on there that I know nothing about? I'm having a look in there, and I need to go and have a look. So, yeah, he did say that. Well, isn't that strange? Liber, Fabian Jimmy Savile, cults, the toxic waste. It's a scam, DD. John Aspinall. What's the scam? Who is John Aspinall? John Aspinall. Have we met John Aspinall? Let me have a look and see any of these pictures are coming up. Who is watching on at the moment? Let me have a look. It looks like they're transferring from Roman to Sharia. Rumble CEO Chris Pavlovski posts on X, Rumble is so much more than just a video platform. By the middle of June, we begin on the track to compete with the world's largest hyperscalers, with a primary focus to dominate in AI compute as a service, all built with an ethos that will put freedom and privacy first. Yeah, it depends on the system and how you build it, is the answer. And again, it must be a distributed system. Any AI system that is centrally controlled, and that means if you've got one. And did you see that Restore have come out with another policy? Did you know that? Another policy that they are getting rid of all cameras and surveillance cameras, and I think speed cameras as well. Did you know that? Tell me if you knew that. And let me see if I can find it on the screen. I would have to go and find that. Let me see if I can go and find where it is. Anyone heard of a place called Gidley Park? Evidently it's a restaurant. Anyone heard of Gidley Park? Jules Ann, yeah, I saw that. Let me see if I can go and have a look for this. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'll do it. So, Restore Britain to get rid of cameras, surveillance cameras. See if it comes up. Well, Restore Britain is here to stay. My message to the establishment: get used to it. When was that sent out? That was 2 days ago. Get used to it, Britain. City in the best Britain to live. Absolutely outrageous. Rupert Lowe. I've just watched a video of some unwashed left-wingers claiming that Restore Britain wants to remove 1 million over a period of 5 years. I want to make our response really clear. Let me. I've got to put this stuff up now. Restore government hold. Raise speed limit on motorways. Another day, another stabbing. We need to get real. I'm sick of it. Yeah, I agree. Let me have a look. I don't know where it come out from. Anyone got that? Can anyone find where they said it? Surveillance. I don't know if that's the right way of spelling it, but we'll try it. Let's have a look and see if I can find it. I'll have to go and commit a sin. What is Restore policy? This is important, so I'm doing it. Policy to get rid of surveillance cameras. Key context, security and privacy, end of the compliance, US, local, common reasons for cameras. People are getting up and cutting the cameras down if it refers to specific locations. Let's have a look. Yeah, that matches Restore Britain, the UK politics put Charlie Downs, their campaign director and spokesman. Restore Britain surveillance policy. Restore Britain has publicly stated they would end the mass surveillance state if in government. Key points include rolling back mass surveillance, ending facial recognition in public spaces, treating the British public as citizens, not suspects or walking barcodes. This is part of their broader push against what they see as overreach by the establishment, e.g. excessive CCT digital tracking. They should read our Digital Bill of Rights. I'll tell you what, you should all go and download that from our website and send it to them, right? This is part of a broader push. And they don't, they just laugh at us, right? Because we're English. Rupert Lowe, their leader, has posted about it directly. The UK is one of the highest incidences of public CCTV cameras in the world. Yeah. Plus growing use of facial recognition and other tech. Yeah. Restore positions this restoring privacy and freedoms lost over decades. It's not a full removal of all surveillance cameras, e.g. private security or targeted police use might remain, but a significant rollback of government en masse. Right. Let me see if I can see any specific tweets, and then I'll show it if it comes up. Are you all hanging in there and listening to this? I picked up my suit from my winnings from the Joker. Hopefully over the weekend some people will see my new suit, and then we're going to get stuck into all this. Let's have a look. Why has it done it? Where is it? On the 20th of August 2024. Oh, ain't the one. Rupert Lowe. Where is the tweet, though? Link to tweet. Give me the link. Rupert Lowe official. And then who else put it out there? Restore Britain status. Rupert Lowe, let's see what he says. He has actually said that. Let's see if we can bring that down here. That was on April. Let's have a look and see if I can bring that out. Can you all see that on the screen? Rupert Lowe MP, a Restore Britain government would end the mass surveillance state. All right. I think we need to get rid of speed cameras, and it's not as if but speed cameras are unconstitutional. And it's the irresponsible people, mainly foreigners, that we need to get out of the country. How many people you know can't drive in this country? DD, what search engine do you use? I use all different ones. The main one I use is Brave. Another one is Q+. Have you heard of that? Q+, is that any good? Brave or Opera, no ads on YouTube. Bloody migrant will finish us off in 5 years' time. They won't, because we're taking back control of the country. But I'm telling you now, you ain't going to do it without voting. Millions must go, DD. Steve Whitaker. I absolutely agree. Millions must go. Let me have a quick look and see if I can take that off. Right, that's it. Any questions from my wonderful audience? And then I'm going to start going through this, how important it is to come along to our seminar in Mablethorpe. It's absolutely lovely there. I just want to go. It's about the social as well, and chilling out and speaking to people. There's some important stuff going on, but just people meeting each other. Artist Guna, I use Brave, no ads. I use Brave. Bam7, agree with you. Very sad. What's this one? Mablethorpe event, evening the 5th, then 6th and 7th June 2026. And again, as many people, and don't forget, if you go to the website and you have a look at it and you click on that on the English Constitution site or the Constitution Party site, you will see the same information, hopefully. And then both them events are what's actually happening. Brave is a good browser, yeah. Fellowship for Patriots at Goonerman. Let me go back and see if I can nick one of these things. Let's have a look. I'll put that back out again. Turn that light off my little camera. Man, you know. Well, yeah, ad blocker. So that's it. Has anyone else got any news about what's going on? Anyone know anything about what's going on with Iran? And again, I'm about England. Giving up trying to enlighten people, that's for sure. I went to the Cromwell Museum I like that. Cromwell Museum in Huntingdon yesterday. As soon as I spoke of the Constitution, the two staff from Cambridge started giving me daggers and wouldn't speak to me anymore. Really? Brave browser is tops. Need to get leaflets of the English Constitution and put them out there. Every town. Bam 7, that's the spirit. I'll try to do the same. Let's have a look. Will not, imagine catching Yesy. What? Hammered Silvers of Laugh Out Loud. I don't know what's going on there now. They're all in on it. Bring in the New World Order. I heard Reform are using foreign bots. Jules Ann, I'm telling you now, over the last week, Julie, I have been absolutely attacked on X and Twitter. Took me days going through them and getting them off, and they're all following. And you have to be very careful with them. I enjoy reading President Trump's scathing posts. English constitutional leaflets best for now. Has Rupert Lowe been invited to Maplethorpe? No, but you can all invite him if you want. I've got a new job in St Moritz. Even though I'm retired, there's some news. You got a new job in St Moritz? Even though you're retired? What do you do? There you go. You're on the screen. How's that? Let's take that off. Right, anyone want to put a message up on the screen and I'll click on it. Reform or Cambridge Analytica? Well, now, that's interesting. I do believe that you could be right there. Maplethorpe, is that Paul Forbes? Paul Forbes wouldn't be seen dead at Maplethorpe. Decades ago, English, German, French, Deutsch humour. What's that say? English country. I can't see some comments you're reading out. They on Rumble, please. Oh, right. Okay. Would you advocate return to the old money? Is that to me? Rebecca, would I advocate return to the old money? Yeah, I would, as animals. I can get my old. We can get out the fruppenly bits, can't we? Oh, you had to lower the tone, DD. Right. I haven't got a clue. What's this? Let's read out some from YouTube then. English Constitution Party. I can't see some of the comments you're reading out. Are they on Rumble? Yeah, there's some of them on Rumble. Spooky Bubba. Decades ago, English, German and French. What's that for? Dear Schumer, whatever that means. You cleared the dish. Tracy, to arrange a seminar near you, get hold of the team. They killed my sound. Be right back. 2 tricks to try. Keck Rangel, what are you doing? That's right. Keck Rangel, artist Guna, Frank Wright, the Restore chap, has spoken to the McCormack chap. It's out Friday. I suggest it will be popular. That come from there. Let me have a look. I use that. I can see all of them. Mr. and Mrs. English, he doesn't see my questions. Rebecca, what? Rebecca, what have you asked me? Rebecca, have you asked me a question? Let me, it'd be easier if you're putting questions in here. Let me tell you something. I'll see all the questions coming up from all the platforms, and it gets a bit leery, right? So let's go and have a look. Are there any questions that people want to put to me. So if the moderators want to stick the question in the full English moderator WhatsApp group, I'll be able to see them, won't I? That's easy, isn't it? Let me have a look. There's another one. Gooner Mum. This is on Rumble. Heard that paying millions as they're scared of restore. Do you believe we've got 20 million foreigners in this country? Let me put this. Let me just say that. Let me just say this, Joe. We've got 15 million. We've probably got 15 million foreigners, actual foreigners, in London. Actual foreigners in London, 15 million. And you can tell that from the cell data, meaning telephones, and you can tell that from the sewage works, right? The amount of sewage works. Don't listen to any of this nonsense that the government are telling you. And now it's started feeding out to different areas. I had a really good conversation with someone else, and he said, we've started to see them now in Devon. I said, yeah, you're going to. I said, you're only a few hours drive away. What do you expect is going to happen, right? And now all of a sudden, and then don't forget all these other people. I don't mean to be disrespectful. Well, someone will suggest I am being. You didn't give a shit about London. London's got displaced. No one gave a shit. Your capital was taken. We kept trying to tell you, and no one coming and bailed us out, did they? We're going to be changing the money, putting animal. I don't know what that is. Behave yourself, right? Animals. Let's have a look and see if there's any questions. Anyone sending me any questions? It's like they're transferring from Roman to Sharia. I don't know what that's about. Anyone out there got any questions for me? I can't see it. It's going too quick. Eeyore Brothers will not. I see that one. That was Simon Lacey. Who is Ricky Doolan? Let's have a look. True Finder. Yeah, he did. Thanks. Ironworks. Is that a championship? Let me have a look and see if someone's put a question in there. DD. This is from Trisha Y8Y. DD, did you check out Ricky Doolan's dodgy pass? If you haven't, you need to. Who is that? Tell me who it is. Let me come off of that. Someone tell me who it is. Who put that information out there? I have a question. Truth Finder 2019. Where it says live chat at the bottom left-hand corner, has everyone remembered to click on the two lines at the top right, then click all messages? Oh, right. I'll tell you what I could do, but you won't be able to. No, I won't do it like that because I won't be able to see anything. There's loads of messages coming up. They're going too quick. Now, let me see if I can put the chat up. Live chat. It's on the screen, but you won't see it unless I put something dark behind it. Right? Can you all see that? Right. So it should start flying up. Why does it just stop there? Put a load of Indian flags up and I'll see if I can see you. Will not. Doolan, part of United Kingdom. Oh, is he? I don't know who he is. Ricky Doolan's. Dodgy past. If you haven't, you need to. Question for you, Graham. What's your shoe size? What? Size 9. Why? Why? Size 9. Rebecca, part of the Trogco, Gooner Mum. Let's have a look and see all these questions coming up. You're not really saying, oh, look, we're seeing loads of English flags. Ace shows. Is the separation of powers still as strong without the monarchy, Graham? Yeah, because you'd have a president, and all you're doing is transferring the monarch's original powers to a president. That's what they done with the United States of America. They said to George Washington, we want you to be king. And he went, no, we ain't done all this for me to be a king and for my family to carry on the monarchy. We'll elect. And then that's how they created the election process for presidents. Really, that's the Anglo-Saxon way. Spooky, Baba, you know what they say about shoe size. No, I don't. What do they say about shoe size? I'll drive a small car. They say something else about people who drive big cars. I drive a relatively small car. What of the Restore Group's Lincolnshire should we ask them to send reps to each other's seminars? Yeah, you could ask them to do anything. But for some reason, it's either, and I'm being honest with you, it's either bad communication on their side, and it could be that if they, some of these organisers who have stepped forward, they can easily be the bad guys, because I know that they wouldn't have evaded every single one of them. I'm not getting any responses back. Let's have a look tonight and see if there's any responses to my emails. I don't believe there is. Let's have a look and see if there's any responses. Nope, no responses whatsoever. Let me put in there. I mean, I sent their main organiser a message. I've got nothing come back to me at all, which I think is strange. You know what they say about people with big feet? They wear big shoes. That's exactly that. Stevens flip-flops. Stevens Norman. Hello, Tracy. Mr. and Mrs. English 927. I don't ever click on the three dots. I always see all the comments last night. They are playing silly buggers with our systems. My lord. That kept range. Well, they probably are. I don't like it. They don't like us telling people the truth. That's it anyway. I don't think I'm going to waffle on for much longer. I don't ever click the three dots. Iran, Ironworks, please do a session on regionalism. Yeah, no, I will do. It's an in-depth subject. Once you get the hang of it, I could probably cover it off the basics in one show. And then once you understood it, you'd go, these people are an absolute nightmare. What they've tried to do, and they are proper stitching us up. And that's a uni party for you. So don't forget anyway. When is it? When's Monday? Is Monday Dr. Glidden, by the way? I think he's on Monday, hopefully. We'll get him on. I'll have a chat to him. Let me have a look and see where else I'm coming from here. So don't forget, we have got this. I'm going to put this on there. We have got the English Constitution Convention Weekender. Spend 2 days by the English Sea in defence of liberty. The English Constitution Society believes the English Constitution offers an answer to today's problems. Join us to explore the inalienable and constitutional rights, or your inalienable and constitutional rights, what they are, why they matter, and how government overreach threatens to erode them. 2 days, 1 coast, 1 constitution, 1 call to defend the rights of free English men and women, right? We're not the bad guys, we're the good guys. And just to make sure you've got that, I am going to put that on there. So the English Constitution Society will be on the Sunday, and it gives you on the screen the times. You can always go back and look at the video to check it. Hopefully it's on the website as well now. The English Constitution Party, don't forget, it's a very similar emblem, but it's not the same. The Constitution is the solution on both the party and the society. One is a party and one is purely educational. And that is the back of a membership card, which is sent to our members. So everyone should understand exactly who, what, and how they are. So again, I'm going to put that back up there. Everyone should get it. And I'm going to finish with this. Restore Devon and restore England. And if you want to have a tiny little British Union flag somewhere, you must remember that that is, we need to keep Roman law out of England. And there it is. So I am going to say good night. God bless to everyone. I will see you hopefully tomorrow evening. That's it. Au revoir. Good night. God bless. And don't forget what I believe in. The Constitution is the solution.